Good morning and afternoon, everyone. I know that we have people joining us from afar, so welcome and thank you so much to everyone joining us here today for the half-day event, Inclusive Thinking, Policy and Practice in Planning and Heritage for Communities. And of course, I'm also immensely happy to also welcome all of our speakers. And I have to say that I've been absolutely blown away by how quickly this event has come together and the willingness and readiness of all of our speakers to present here today with very, very little notice. So just to introduce myself briefly, my name is Hana Morel and I'm a research associate for the past 3.5 years for the AHRC Heritage Priority Area. And for the past year, I've led on its follow-on funding, opening new pathways to impact across heritage research, policy, and practice, which aims to pull together different disciplines, practices, and sectors and explore how we might work together so that we can feed our research proactively into evidence-based policy. And so this event absolutely is a direct action of that aim and direct response to planning reform proposals recently put forward in England, which aim to ultimately change the planning system as set out in the 1947 Town and Country Planning Act, and then its subsequent revisions, as well as subsequent policy instruments introduced since then. So today is particularly important, not only because it's the last event of the follow-on funding, but also because it focuses on a number of planning changes and proposals put forward by the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government this year, and really accelerated by number 10, which includes the Planning for the Future white paper that was published for consultation this August and closes in on the 29th of this month. But of course, the conversation will continue as it travels through Parliament. So today is really about building a shared understanding of how each of us approach the proposed planning reforms and how this relates to people, to communities, to our historic, cultural, and natural heritage, and identifying gaps and fleshing out some opportunities, and of course, drawing attention to those positive and negative impacts the suggestions will have on our communities, our lives, our livelihoods, particularly if you're involved with heritage work. And I guess we hope to hook onto those areas of understanding and research that might appear to be unrelated to each other, but actually directly relates to heritage work, community work, and thinking about empowerment and inclusion in the legislature and legislation. So we'll be exploring, for example, the importance of thinking about land use when we think about sustainability, including social sustainability and public acceptability to changes in environmental policy and other social and professional impacts and unintended consequence foreseen by these reforms. And so over the next 3 hours, we'll hear from a range of representatives who will provide that rich insight from their field and their perspective. And what we want is for this to be engaging and useful. So please do ask your questions using the question box, and we'll try to get to them all. And do share your views or links through the chat box if you have any useful resources you'd like us to use or see, or including maybe your own response or online responses you'd like to draw attention to. So I've put the hashtag planning for communities that we'll be using on Twitter in the chat box, and a link to the program, which you can find online. So please do look at that to find out more about each of our speakers and their work.